The death toll from the coronavirus in Maryland keeps growing. At least 24 people have died as the number of confirmed cases ticks higher. Starting today, 3 emissions inspection sites will be turned into COVID-19 testing sites. WJZ is live in Glen Burnie. Amy Kawada is at one of those sites where you do need an appointment. Amy?
Good morning, Lynn. That's right. You can't just show up to get tested here. In order for you to receive one of these tests, you need an order from one of your healthcare providers first, along with an appointment. And today, 3 of these testing sites, these vehicle testing sites here, including the one here in Glen Burnie, will officially be converted into one of these drive-through testing facilities. On Monday, the parking lot of the FedEx field in Landover started operating as a COVID-19 testing site, but tests are at a premium.
We don't want to waste these tests. We want to test where it's really important to the individual and to the contact tracing.
Today, 3 emissions inspection sites open in Waldorf, Bel Air, and Glen Burnie. Since tests are in short supply, providers must order your tests first. Governor Hogan addressed the concern on CNN Tuesday.
Well, without the test, we really are flying blind. You know, we're sort of guessing about where the outbreaks are and about what the infection rate and the hospitalization rates are and the mortality rates.
The United States, the greatest country in the world, should have been better prepared for this type of crisis.
Former Anne Arundel County Executive Laura Newman and her daughter are among those who experienced symptoms, but could not get a test from their doctor.
And I was shocked by that. I said, well, what do you mean there aren't any tests?
State health officials say the rise in cases is actually a reflection of where we were last week, rather than where we are now.
Unless we are actively and aggressively testing, we don't know where this is, we don't know who's been affected, and we don't have an effective way to treat it.
And we're told all 3 of these testing sites will remain open based on demand and availability of supply. Live in Glen Burnie this morning, I'm Amy Kawada for WJZ.
Thank you, Amy. It is 6:34 now. The coronavirus pandemic is showing no signs of slowing down here in Maryland, and the governor says it's only going to get worse before it gets better. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren with a closer look at those numbers.
Cases of the coronavirus in Maryland surged to more than 1,600, and the state reported more deaths. A man in Carroll County in his 80s with underlying health conditions. Another man from Howard County, also in his 80s with underlying health conditions. A man from Prince George's County in his 40s with no underlying health conditions. A woman from Baltimore City in her 70s with underlying health conditions. And a woman from Frederick County in her 90s with underlying health conditions. The governor says his stay-at-home order is critical.
We reached the point where the cases had exploded in the Washington region here.
But a union representing state employees has criticized how Maryland has handled the situation at prisons and the Clifton T. Perkins Hospital, where there are confirmed cases of COVID-19. A correctional officer based in the Jessup area spoke about the dangers on the job.
My fear is that it's already spread through the prison, and it's just going to continue to spread like wildfire, and then it's going to be a disaster. And I'm terrified.
The Department of Public Safety insists they've been proactive, cleaning facilities and social distancing, but this officer says they are forbidden from wearing masks and other protective gear is hard to come by.
In the prison, we can't keep our distance. For us not to be protected is really my main fear. There wasn't enough supplies, but now there's no supplies.
Maryland is already dealing with a deadly outbreak at a nursing home in Mount Airy. There's a positive case at an Amazon facility in Baltimore. And in Baltimore County, 32 officers are in quarantine after 2 tested positive.
This is a crisis unlike anything we've seen before. Unlike a snowstorm, flood, or a hurricane, it's impossible to know exactly how long this will last.
The state says more than 14,000 people have tested negative and 53 people have recovered in Maryland since this pandemic began. At the State Department of Health, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
The outbreak of coronavirus at a Carroll County nursing home continues. 3 more patients have died from COVID-19. WJZ is live. Mike Shue is at a Northeast Baltimore nursing home where there could also be an outbreak. Mike?
Yes, there are 5 residents here at the Future Care Cold Spring at the corner of Cold Spring and Harford Road that have tested positive. It is an ominous sign as now the virus is starting to get into nursing homes, which of course house our most vulnerable, the elderly.
In Mount Airy, 3 more residents at the Pleasant View Nursing Home, 2 men in their 70s and a woman in her 60s have died, pushing the total deaths there to 5. A National Guard medical unit is now assessing the health of all who live and work there. With over 2/3 of their population infected, additional support is needed to care for the patients. And last night, the governor called out the nationwide shortage of supplies.
It's the shortage of all of these things, masks and PPE and ventilators. It's not just a problem in New York or New Jersey or California. It's every single one of the 50 states and the 5 territories all have the same exact issue. We don't have enough of these things.
This comes as Future Care Cold Spring, a nursing home in Northeast Baltimore, revealed that 5 of its patients have tested positive for COVID-19, telling WJZ in a statement that they're testing additional staff members and residents showing symptoms. Sobering news, as Hogan says more cases are coming and the state needs to be ready.
It's about what we can do tomorrow and what we can do over the next couple of weeks to save the lives of tens of thousands of people.
Last night, the governor also repeated the fact that he believes that soon our area is going to be showing numbers similar to the devastation that they're seeing in New York right now. I'm Mike Shee reporting live in Northeast Baltimore for WJZ.
Thank you, Mike. 6:38 now. The coronavirus has claimed more lives now in the United States than the attacks of September 11th. The list of COVID-19 deaths spiked over 700 yesterday and now total more than 3,900. As that death toll continues to rise, efforts to contain the virus are intensifying.
We underestimated this virus. It's more powerful, it's more dangerous than we expected.
City, states, and towns across the country are gearing up for an anticipated surge of critically ill patients. The Centers for Disease Control is considering whether to advise all Americans to wear or not to wear a mask or other face coverings when out in public.
More than $48 million in federal money is headed here to help fight this pandemic. The full Maryland Congressional District says the funds will support counties and cities statewide. It will be used to maintain crucial public services, provide shelter to the homeless, and increase affordable housing options. Baltimore City will get the biggest chunk of this money, nearly $21 million. Under Armour is working to help healthcare systems fight the coronavirus. The team here in Baltimore is making face masks, face shields, and specially equipped fanny packs. This will support the University of Maryland Medical System's 28,000 healthcare providers and staff. So far, 1,300 face shields have been delivered to UMMS. Face masks will be provided to LifeBridge. Officials say they're discussing the needs for supplies with Johns Hopkins Medicine, MedStar, and other local medical institutions. Sagamore Spirits takes a break from making whiskey, and instead they're making hand sanitizer for healthcare workers. Sagamore shipped the first batch to Johns Hopkins yesterday, 180 gallons. They worked with Hopkins pharmacy team to make sure the sanitizer is compliant for use inside hospitals. They've committed to deliver more than 14,000 gallons of it. Stay with WJZ as we follow the new developments in the coronavirus pandemic on air and online. We have everything you need to know posted at WJZ.com.